What was the word for how? You remember the word for how?
Wie?
Wie. To say how are you in German, you can say how goes it. Let's start there. How
Wie
goes it?
geht es?
Good. Now contract for me geht and s.
Geht's.
Wie geht's? Wie geht's in the spoken language you'll hear all the time for how's it going, how are you? No, with that geht and s contracted. Wie geht's? Tell me again what was to see?
Sehen.
Sehen. So just to have a look what kind of things we could get from one verb, no? When we start diversifying the vocabulary. Ansehen means to look at. Ansehen. Zusehen means to watch. Zusehen. Aussehen. Aussehen means to look in the sense of like you look good. No? Ich will gut aussehen. I want to look good. Wiedersehen. You might hear Auf Wiedersehen used like goodbye, which means until again, until seeing each other again. So wieder means again and Wiedersehen to again see, to see again. Übersehen means to overlook. Vorsehen, to take care. Vorsicht, Vorsicht, which you might see on signs around Germany, means warning, no? Or literally foresight. There we have the CH to the GH shift. So you don't want to sit around memorizing these, no? Or even try to remember all of the translations you might find in a dictionary. Some will only be very seldom used as well. It's better to just be aware that this is a big feature of German and to listen out for it in real life. We should always look for opportunities to listen actively and not worry about how much we understand, but to be looking for things that make us think about things we've seen or things we've wondered about, rather than just worrying about how much we understand, which is a totally different mental process. What was to make?
Machen.
Machen. And to open?
Aufmachen.
Aufmachen. And to close? To make to?
Zumachen.
Zumachen. To turn on?
Anmachen.
Anmachen. Abmachen. Abmachen means to remove. Abmachen.
Abmachen.
Ab means something like away from. So to make away from, to remove. It can also mean to agree on something. Abmachen.
These are so random.
Yeah, they feel really random. But if you look at English, they're so random as well. If you look at English, you tend to have a really clear, obvious meaning, like give in, like hand something in. And then another one that involved a lot of imagination, like to give up, no? To give in, to give up, which is then a very idiomatic meaning. So language and society complicate together. Society as a whole, or individuals, get new ideas or diversify ideas and need a way to express them. So rather than inventing new words from nothing, well, it makes more sense to combine ideas that already exist creatively, metaphorically. So this has been happening for a long time, both in English and German. New ideas need to find new homes, and that's what the word is, a home for an idea. Language isn't thought. Language has to jump in to represent thoughts. And as we complicate thought, we expand language. And we don't just find this in the Germanic side of English, we find it in the Latin side too. Decay, for example, means of or from, that's de, fooling, like caer in Spanish, you speak Spanish, caer, to fool. Decay is of fooling. Depend just means from hanging, like a pendant, is a hanging thing. And sometimes you will even find words from Latin English, like depend, having the same translation in German. Depend in German is abhängen. And we find even the two words that look totally different, depend, abhängen, are the same word. So what do we do for vocabulary? We listen. We can understand so much from context, and there's so many of the words we hear will be built of bits that are familiar to us that will be easier to the ear, easier to pick up, and make the language seem much slower to our ears, giving us more mental space to think about the context and to try to guess the meaning of the word we hear, built of parts we know. So listen out. Between the context and the parts of the words you recognize, you can get a lot of vocabulary in German on the go, just picking it up on the go. To lay in German is legen.
Legen.
So again we have that E that's like kind of further back, a bit more smiley. Legen.
Legen. legen,
This is again the Y to G shift, no? Like we saw between say and sagen. Lay, legen. Legen can also be used like to put, no? Like to lay something down. Gelegenheit, Gelegenheit is a great word. This means opportunity, Gelegenheit.
Gelegenheit,
So the ge is a little bit that we're going to come across a lot in German that appears for many different reasons. We don't really care about it now. Legen means to lay, and height, what is height?
hood,
Hood. So it's like the laid down hood. Your opportunity, Gelegenheit, is the laid down hood. So if you were to look that word up in a dictionary, you don't want to just try to memorize it. What you want to do is to go, okay, what is that built of? No, the ge, you will find it around a lot. We will look at it later, but it's not important here. You can see that you have legen, the verb, and height. No, and that will help you interiorize that word that you might have just looked up in the dictionary or asked somebody for. How would you say the opportunity?
is it masculine?
What would you look at to decide what gender it is?
The ending?
Good.
So it ends in T or D maybe?
Yeah, so the letter is not so important. What's important here, the ending, is the height. So do you remember how to say childhood?
Kindheit,
And the childhood?
die Kindheit,
Very good, very good. So this thing about looking somewhere else is a very good idea. Because of course, you've said die Kindheit. No, and you remember, okay, that's feminine. And height is feminine. So the opportunity, you forgot the word for opportunity. Well, you can try to build it again. No? You remember what bits and pieces it had, or one of the bits and pieces?
Gelegenheit,
Gelegenheit. Good. So we don't want to just try to remember the whole word. We want to try to think about something that will bring us closer to it. Relaxed. No, not worrying about, do I remember it, don't I remember it. Just try to get closer to it. Oh, what was it about? What was it connected? What sound did it have? What did it look like? Anything. No? Relaxed. So the opportunity.
die Gelegenheit,
Good. Die Gelegenheit. How would you say this is the opportunity? This is quite a common expression in German. This is the opportunity. How would you say that?
das ist die Gelegenheit,
Das ist die Gelegenheit. Good. Opportunity in English, which is a Latin word, is also built of other parts. It means something like towards the port. Port means towards the port, and it's probably in reference to the wind. No, and that's opportune. That's an opportunity when the wind goes towards the port. So tell me again, what was to lay or to lay something down?
legen,
Legen. Auflegen means to hang up the phone. Or DJing also, to DJ. Auflegen. Auslegen. What does aus mean?
out,
Good. Out. So auslegen means to display. It also means to pay for someone on the promise of getting it back later. So imagine we go out for lunch and I can auslegen you, which would mean that I'm paying for you now, but you are going to give it to me back later. So that's an idea, no? That's an idea, not a bunch of words to pay for you so that you give it to me back later. And that idea is all just housed in that word auslegen. So moving between languages, you will find sometimes you need many words to express an idea, and the other language will be able to express all of that idea just in one, and vice versa.